Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Erin's Book Club. I have another book review to do today. I've actually read this book a couple days ago, but it took me a while to kind of get my thoughts together and figure stuff out. But I finally did it. I read Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, and I got the mass market paperback copy because that was the cheap one. Sometimes you got to go with the cheap one. And it's interesting because, of course, I watched the movie first. And so I really put off reading the book. And I think I ended up getting the book because it was not only the mass market paperback copy, but it was like a secondhand. Like, I don't think I paid full price for it. That being said, I'm going to say I was really happy that I watched the movie first before reading the book, because the movie, if I read the book first, the movie would have been bitterly disappointing for me. The movie was as if they kind of skimmed through the books, picked the things that would be interesting to them, and that were like really dumbed down. It's like the movie directors didn't believe that us as an audience would be intelligent enough to understand the logistics of the perceived hypothesis of how to get DNA, dinosaur DNA. The book dives right into it, and not only dives right into it, but you get an introduction. If you read the introduction before you read the book, you get an understanding of how this can happen so quickly and without the authorities really getting their fingers into it, and how science has changed from based on finding truth to based on finding fame and making a name of oneself. So then you go into the book understanding the risks or the goals of some of these scientists, and you go into the book understanding how this can happen in even a third world country without anybody knowing. The characters, they've changed the characters so much too, because of the two children, I think it was Ellie and Jim, or Tim. Tim was the sensible, smart, dinosaur fanatic kind of guy. And Ellie, I couldn't wait. I thought for sure she'd be eaten by a dinosaur near the end, or hoped for that. I couldn't wait to see her die. She was annoying and selfish and self-absorbed and just no clue what's going on in the world other than what her significant, like, I really disliked her. Same with this. The Malcolm character was funny because the start of every chapter had a quote from this Malcolm character, and we're not introduced into for Malcolm except until I think chapter 3. But before I even met him in the book, I didn't like him. I didn't like his arrogance. I didn't like his brashness, his I'm always right no matter what kind of personality. He was another one I wanted the dinosaurs to eat. The problem is at the end of it, when he started explaining things more and you got to know him a bit more, and yes, he was still abrasive and you didn't like him, but he was right. Which almost made it worse. If they could make the guy that was right actually personable, that would have been so much better. And in the end, despite myself, I was upset when he died. I guess this spoiler warning's a bit... sorry. Spoiler warning. Yeah, so I guess I was kind of upset when he died. But Hammond, the one that the movie made him feel or look like somebody's eccentric old grandpa that had all his facilities together but maybe just didn't understand the dynamics of things. This Hammond is, again, self-absorbed. There's no way that he can make a mistake. The only mistakes he ever made was hiring the wrong people for the job. He lied, he snuck around, and all of it to make a profit. He first started off saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see the children enjoy my camp or my park." But then he goes, "At least the rich ones." He was one I enjoyed watching die. So it was a very good book, and it was well written. and the science behind it was believable, well backed up, but the characters were totally different in the book than in the movie. The one thing I'm going to say though is I'm wondering if this author really doesn't like women, because the two women characters, well, there's three. There was one that was a doctor, but she was just kind of like a side character. The other two women characters was the bratty child that you wanted to push off the fucking cliff, or um, Grant's assistant. Yeah, assistant, I think. Ellie. Is it Ellie? Whoever. The Grant's like student. And she was kind of there, but all she ever did was follow what Grant said and play nursemaid to Malcolm. So women were brought down to either nursemaids or bratty, emotional, incompetent people. But I don't know if that was just him, because I've read a book by this same author called Prey, and I felt as though those characters were also female and made better life decisions. It was the males I thought were not being very smart. But again, it might just be the story. Either or, it was an interesting read, a quick read. I think it was like 500 pages, and I got it done in a week and a half. It was 443 pages. Sorry. And I got it done in a week and a half. I really enjoyed the book. So any of you guys who watched the movie, give the book a try. It's very, very, very different than the movie. But I guess that's all I have to say about this one, and I will let you know when I have another book read. Thanks, guys.